This is Henry Simon bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The Colgate Show, address unknown, is brought to you by the makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Colgate Toothbrushes, Colgate Shampoo, Colgate Beauty Soap, Colgate Hairspray, and Colgate Talc.
In one moment, the search for Charles Denton, address unknown.
And here again is Henry Simon.
In times of war and international unrest, there are obviously a great number of disappearances and unaccounted for deaths. In such times, too, even though Britain herself may not be directly involved in the conflict in question, a large number of British subjects find themselves caught up in the action. When this happens, it's not unnatural for the Missing Persons Bureau to play a part in attempting to solve one or more of the disappearance mysteries. I remember at the time of the French troubles with Algeria, we had a caller to the Bureau, a most attractive young lady named Lillian Wentworth. She came directly to the point of her visit.
My fiancé, Mr. Simon, Charles Denton, he seems to be missing. I've tried the police, even checked all the hospitals and nursing homes I could think of. There isn't any trace of him. I'm coming to you almost as a last resort.
Well, a great many people do, Miss Wentworth. We have a surprisingly successful record in locating missing persons. Now, let's have some details, please. Your fiancé's age, physical description.
Charles is 31. He's about 5'10", and average weight, what would that be, about 150?
That's close enough. Colouring?
Dark brown hair, almost black, really. Blue eyes, rather dark complexion, very suntanned. Charles spends quite a lot of time on the Riviera and mooning around the Mediterranean on his yacht.
Oh, he's wealthy, then.
Well, rather comfortably well off, I'd say. Not rich in the usual sense. But he never seems to want for ready cash.
I see. And his occupation?
He's a writer.
Oh, I wondered why the name rang a bell. He writes those Secret Service agent books, doesn't he? What's the name? Greg something?
Greg Carson.
Yes,
that's the one. Charles says it brings him in quite a lot of money. I know he's published mainly in paperbacks, but there does seem to be quite a market for thrillers like that.
There must be, yes. Just about every bookstore or station newsstand displays dozens of books of that type. You say he moons around the Mediterranean quite a lot. Just how much would that be?
Oh, for weeks, sometimes even months at a time. He does most of his writing on his yacht. He says you can't find peace like that in any other way. He's probably quite right. Oh, the times I've been aboard Lady Susan have been wonderful. Nobody to bother you, just the sea and the ports of call when you feel like company. I wish I could live like that all the time.
I should think all the time would become a bit much, Miss Wentworth. Times like that take on an added flavor when they're not overindulged in, if you pardon the split infinitive.
You could very well be right, Mr. Simon.
Now, back to your fiancé. If, as you say, he's always away for weeks or even months at a time, how can you be sure that he's missing? Couldn't this just be one of those extended periods?
No, Charles has a thing about keeping appointments and never being late. He was supposed to have seen his agent and his publisher 2 days ago, right here in London. But he simply never turned up.
Their names?
Desmond Wright is the publisher. Trigon Books. You've heard of him?
Yes, indeed. The Three Triangles trademark.
Yes, that's the one. And Malcolm Bennett is his agent. He only handles a dozen or so clients, but that seems to be the way he prefers it. Needless to say, that dozen comprises only best-selling authors.
I see. Now, exactly when last did you see your fiancé?
It was Thursday of last week. He said he'd only be away for 3 or 4 days, but now it's a full week. There's no sign of Charles.
Do you know where he went?
Yes, he went to Paris. He stayed in his flat there. Number 14, Rue Petier in Montmartre.
14 Rue Petier, Montmartre. Good. You're sure of that, Miss Wentworth? Sure that he did go to Paris?
Yes, quite sure. He telephoned me on Thursday night and again on the Friday.
Excellent. And his address here in London?
27 Maxton House, Dawes Avenue, Kensington. Oh, that's his home base, really. It's a lovely flat.
Now, is there anyone there at the moment?
I shouldn't think so. He has a woman who comes in every morning to do the cleaning chores and dusting. Sometimes she cooks for him, too.
And her name?
Mrs. Kreppel.
Kreppel. She's not there this afternoon, then?
No, she always leaves at about 1 o'clock.
Pity. You wouldn't happen to have a key to the flat, would you?
Yes, I do have. Charles gave me one some months ago. But why should you need one, Mr. Simon?
Well, the agent I'll assign to the case will probably like to have a look round there. It'd be easier, and I'm sure a lot more comforting to your peace of mind, if you were there when he did so.
Oh, I see. Yes, well, that will be fine. Is there anything else, Mr. Simon?
Not that I can think of at the moment. If you just leave me your address and telephone number, I think that'll take care of everything. Oh, and I shouldn't worry too much about all this, Miss Wentworth. In most cases involving missing persons, there's usually a very banal and innocuous explanation.
You said in most cases, Mr. Simon. That's what's worrying me. Perhaps Charles is one of those that isn't.
I wasn't unduly worried about Charles Denton's disappearance. Despite Lillian Wentworth's assurance that he was one of that rare breed of personalities who are never late for an appointment, the fact that Denton was a writer seemed to cancel out the virtues, in my mind at any rate. As a whole, writers are not the most dependable of people, and this could well have been an occasion when Denton decided to stay away on his own instead of returning to London for the appointment with his agent and publisher. I said as much to Agent Luke Parker when I briefed him on the assignment. Parker grinned and blew smoke up at the ceiling.
Don't look now, Chief, but you're being kind of bigoted.
Bigoted? Me?
Sure.
In what way, may I ask?
Maligning the whole race of writers on account of maybe you happen to have met up with a couple who weren't all that much on the responsible side. And what happens? To shove the whole mess of them into the same category? Oh, why, Chief, some of my best friends are writers.
How enlightening. Nonetheless, Parker, we shall take Miss Wentworth's belief in her fiancé's dependability with just a pinch or two of salt. I think it might be an idea if we went round to Denton's agent this afternoon and found out what he thinks of his client's passion for punctuality. It may turn out that Lillian Wentworth has a rose-colored view of her fiancé.
Sure, will do. Got his address?
It's in the phone book.
Thanks.
If you get no joy there, you might try his publisher. Then, if necessary, Miss Wentworth will let you into Denton's flat. But save that until you have to, Parker. She seems to be the type that protects individual privacy with a passion that borders on the overpowering. When I suggested that you may want to look round Denton's flat, her eyebrows nearly hit the ceiling with disapproval.
Okay, message received and understood. Handle a lady with kid gloves, right?
It may pay you to do so, yes.
Anything else, Chief?
It's now 2:14. You have a busy afternoon ahead of you, Parker. I suggest that you get weaving. Parker telephoned Denton's agent, Malcolm Bennett, and arranged to call round at his office within the hour. When Parker arrived, he found a smoothly running machine that digested authors' words and then regurgitated them in the direction of the most profitable publisher. The office was neat, modern, and functional, and Parker was shown directly into Malcolm Bennett's private sanctuary. Bennett himself was smooth, affable, but for some reason best known to Parker, he irritated. There was a measure of pompousness to the man that had no trouble in making Parker's hackles rise.
Charles, of course, is one of our middleweight writers, you know. Churns out the words like sausages, and most of the time they don't need much in the way of revision or polishing. Mainly paperback sales for Greg Carson, usual market stuff. Not one of the really best-selling chappies we have in the stable, but better than the bottom rung fellows. The sort that write one good book for every 5 or 6. No better than mediocre. Dependable, yes, on the whole, I'd say he was.
And the fact that he didn't show up for your appointment was out of character for him.
Well, yes, to a degree. Nothing to worry about.
Why not?
Well, you don't know Ryder's, old man. A week in Paris could lead to a month, even a couple of months on the tear.
Uh-huh. You know, something's been puzzling me. I've read a couple of Greg Carson's books. They're pretty good. But the bit I don't get is how come the author knows so much about the insides of the Secret Service and about the other side of things, the gun running and the underworld bit. It's almost as though the writing was being done from personal experience. Any truth in that?
Personal experience? Oh, you mean was Charles ever mixed up in the intelligence outfit himself?
Well, something like that.
Perish the thought, old man. Nothing more than a lively imagination, that's all.
You're sure of that?
Oh, positive, old man. Absolutely positive.
Parker tried without success to get hold of Denton's publisher, Desmond Wright, and the trail had abruptly worn a trifle thin. He decided to take a look round Denton's flat, and accordingly contacted Lillian Wentworth and arranged to meet her at Maxton House at 5:30. She arrived on time and unlocked the front door.
Go ahead, Mr. Parker. Although I must admit I fail to see the point of your snooping around here.
Snooping? Oh, I wouldn't call it that, Miss Wentworth. Just seeing if maybe we can find something to lead us to the missing person. And that's what you want, ain't it?
But of course that's what I want. What an absurd question to ask.
Just checking, ma'am, just checking. Man's got to get his facts right, and that's a fact.
Well, what particularly did you want to see?
Don't know for certain, ma'am. Maybe I'll just mosey around and see where my nose leads me. Real nice-looking pad the man's got. Expensive.
I told Mr. Simon that Charles doesn't generally want for money.
Looks like it. Those paintings must have cost a pretty penny. And real high-class Persian carpets. Good taste the man's got. Particularly in his choice of women, ma'am. And that's meant as a compliment in case you weren't too sure.
I'm sorry, Mr. Parker. You just caught me on the wrong foot. I'm not usually the snappish and ill-tempered with people I've only just met.
No offense, ma'am, no offense. Hey, quite a stack of mail over on this table. This where it's usually left by the cleaning woman?
Yes. Mrs. Kreppel is a very methodical woman. If the mail were left anywhere except where it should be, she'd feel it some sort of sacrilege was being committed.
Yeah. Man gets mail from all over the world. Must do a lot of letter writing himself to get replies like this. Mr. Charles Denton, Esquire, Hong Kong, Melbourne, Cape Town.
He uses a secretarial service when he needs that sort of thing. Just dictates replies. Doesn't bother about sitting down and writing anything involved.
Hey, this is kind of funny.
Well, what is?
2 letters here. To Mark Damon. This address. Who's he?
I don't know. I've never heard the name before.
I wonder. Yeah. Maybe it could stack up at that. It just maybe could.
What could, Mr. Parker?
You say your fiancé left London last Thursday and headed for Paris. You also say he phoned you on the Thursday night and the Friday night. The call came through the Paris telephone exchange, Miss Wentworth.
Well, of course they did. What are you getting at?
Well, just this, ma'am. I checked with the people at Customs and Immigration. They double-checked with the passport office. And you know what? Last Thursday, they had nobody named Charles Denton leaving the country.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
Parker kept a close watch on Lillian Wentworth's face as he said the words. He half hoped for a telltale flicker of something to show in her eyes, something that could very well give him a lead to our missing person. But there was nothing. A puzzled frown creased her forehead, and she stared hard at Parker. She seemed more annoyed than evasive.
He didn't leave the country.
Not according to the records, no, ma'am.
Well, there's some mistake.
That figures.
But I don't understand it. I spoke to Charles on both Thursday and Friday, and there were calls from Paris. Well, what's this all about?
Maybe this gives us part of the answer. The letters here, addressed to Mark Damon. Not care of Charles Denton or anything like that. Just the name and the address. This address.
You think Charles was using a different name?
Could be. One sure way of checking, though, we call the passport office and find out whether or not a guy using this name hightailed it across to Paris last Thursday. And if that's so, ma'am, I ain't gonna buy no story about coincidence. That's it, Chief. The records show that Charles Denton left and returned to this country 3 or 4 times in the last 5 years. But Lillian Wentworth tells me he's been and gone at least 10 times during the same time.
And the man who calls himself Mark Damon?
Yeah, funny, ain't it? He's been away 6 or 7 times. Add the 2 and you come up with the right answer.
So Charles Denton occasionally uses a fake name and a fake passport, I might add, for his trips aboard. Which adds up to something a trifle on the odd side, I'd say.
It stinks.
Quite so. Any theories, Parker?
Nothing that comes up with anything solid. Just a whole mess of theories and ideas that could fit the facts, but they don't happen to have any proof lying around to back them up.
And Lillian Wentworth? Has she any ideas?
None. Far as she's concerned, her boy Charles is pure as the driven snow. And this double passport jazz don't make any kind of sense to her.
You sound as though you believed her.
Yep, sure do. I threw a high curve, and when I hit her with the dope about Denton not leaving the country, I hoped maybe she'd react, and I was watching her like 3 hawks. But no soap, Chief. It didn't mean a thing to her. And you know the way I am with phonies, I smell 'em from miles away. Not so with Lillian. She's on the level, but somebody else might not be.
Who?
Malcolm Bennett.
Denton's agent? What makes you think so?
I don't know. Nothing he said, nothing he didn't say, but I didn't like the way he said it. Too glib, too smooth, too much like he was trying to lead me away from where I was heading.
Anything in particular?
Just one. In one breath, he told me Denton was a reliable cat, real dependable. And the next, the fact that Denton didn't show up for the appointment meant nothing at all. Just the way riders behave and forget about it.
Interesting. What now, Parker?
Paris. I checked with our client and she okayed it. That's where Denton was, so that's where we pick up the trail, okay?
His flat. How do you get in?
Easy. Lillian Wentworth had a key for that one, too. This one. Any more questions?
On your way, Parker. On your way. Parker flew to France early the following morning. A cab from Orly Airport took him to Paris and dropped him in the sector of Montmartre where Charles Denton maintained a second flat. It was a 3rd-floor walk-up, and from the exterior seemed to be nothing prepossessing. Then Parker unlocked the front door and received a 2-part surprise. The interior of the flat was furnished in a style matching that of the London residence, luxurious, tasteful, and expensive. It would have been impressive were it not for the second part of the surprise. It looked as though the place had been hit by a cyclone.
Holy cow, will you look at that? Somebody's turned this place over but good, and whatever they were looking for, they sure didn't find. If they did, at least some of the place would still be tidy. But they went through it from top to bottom. Pillows ripped open, drawers pulled out, every scrap of paper in sight given a close inspection. Yeah, whoever was responsible for this little search sure knew what he was doing. But what were they looking for? That's the jackpot question. Doesn't seem to be anybody here. Let's check the bedroom. No, same sort of scene in here. Mattress ripped apart, wardrobe contents thrown all over the place, more drawers dumped on the floor. And no sign of Denton, which is maybe the most encouraging thing about it. If there was any sign of him, he'd probably be his dead body. Heck, now what do we do now? No other leads to follow here in Paris. No way of telling where Denton may have headed. Looks like you had a free airplane ride, Parker, and got nothing for it. But where do you go for honey now?
You! Do not move. Stay where you are.
Oh, come on in, buddy. The water's fine.
Keep your mouth shut. Speak only when I demand an answer.
Funny thing, pal. You're real persuasive. Or could it be that gun in your hand that makes you so appealing?
It would be to your advantage to do as I say, my friend. And I want you to speak. Speak. But not in any other circumstances. Understood?
Yeah.
Now, who are you?
What are you doing in this apartment?
Looking for the owner. My name's Parker.
For whom do you work?
Missing Persons Bureau.
What? Are you attempting to mock me? I would advise against such foolishness.
You asked who I work for, I told you, no gag.
I do not believe you. For what reason are you in Denton's flat? You did not break in, therefore you had the key. From where did you obtain it?
Well, how do you know I didn't break in?
This apartment has been under observation for several days now. We expected one of Denton's associates to arrive, and we were not wrong, were we?
Very wrong, pal. I've never seen Denton before in my life.
You think we are fools? Turn around.
What for?
Turn on.
Okay, buddy. That's the way you want it.
A blow crunched down sickeningly on the back of Parker's neck, and the room exploded in his eyes like Guy Fawkes gone mad. He had no idea how long he was unconscious, but as he slowly and painfully began to grope towards the surface again, he was aware of the faint, lingering aroma of ether. Obviously, he'd been kept unconscious by an anesthetic for some time. The pounding in his head diminished slowly, and gradually his eyes began to focus. He found himself lying on a camp stretcher in a barren-looking room. A man stood casually against the single barred window, watching him. Parker lifted his head and saw the man who had knocked him unconscious sitting on a chair, the gun still in his hand.
Oh, brother.
Welcome back to the land of the living, old man.
Who are you?
The name's Denton. Charles Denton. I gather you were looking for me.
You have to knock me out to get me here?
I'm sorry, old man. I wasn't responsible for that. Chum Rene here was. He has a passion for violence. Caters to the animal in his nature.
Shut up.
Oh, did I offend you? I didn't mention what kind of animal.
You keep that filthy mouth of yours shut or I'll...
You know what, old man? Kill me. Your bosses wouldn't like that. Not until they get their grubby little paws on the money. Yes? Watch yourself, Rene.
When we have made you talk, then I have you, Denton. This I will enjoy.
Look, will somebody please tell me what the heck is going on here?
A pleasure, old man. For some time now, I've been employed as a kind of unofficial courier, bringing money and sundry other little oddments to Paris from London. All of it has gone to the organization that employs friend Rene here. Oh, allow me to introduce, by the way. The full name's Rene Ducat, but the surname's doubtful. Rene's the sort of chap who didn't have a father.
You shut your mouth.
The organization does rather nasty things, like supplying arms and explosives to the Algerian terrorists, plastic bombs for maiming the women and children. You know the kind of thing.
And you've been helping them?
Up to a point.
For money?
Actually, no. For information. The people I'm connected with here were rather keen on finding out who the London contact is, so they had me infiltrate this organization. It all went rather smoothly, until now.
What stopped it?
I didn't deliver the last package. You know what it contained, old man? Enough uncut heroin to bring in a large-sized fortune.
Why didn't you deliver it?
To ruffle things up a bit. Set the cat among the pigeons sort of thing. If things look really bad, perhaps they'll send over their London contact to get things right again.
You know who he is?
We have an idea. It's a question of getting proof, you see.
Yeah, I'm beginning to.
Sounds like we are getting company.
You stay there, Denton. Move once and I shoot off your kneecap. You will be alive, but in great pain.
Oh, charming. You'd love that, wouldn't you, little piece of garbage?
Shut your face. I will not warn you again.
Oh, bless my soul. If it isn't Uncle Puss in Boots himself. Hello, Malcolm, old soul. Welcome to the party.
You've been rather silly, haven't you, old man?
Depends on your point of view, Malcolm. I don't think so.
Oh, well. Where's the parcel?
Oh, I am sorry. Classified information, don't you know?
We'll find it sooner or later. You will tell us eventually.
Hey, Dent, where does he come into all this?
My agent, he's the boy my superior suspected, so they had to plant me on him. I don't know who wrote all these words about Comrade Greg Carson, but it certainly wasn't me. It was enough, though, to look authentic. And now everything's worked out just beautifully. Use your head, Bennett. Pack it in now.
You seem to forget who's in control here. Rennie has the gun.
Of course. But who does he point it at? Me. That leaves Parker uncovered.
What are you talking about?
Now you don't know where to point it to, you chap.
You stay where you are.
You've got to leave one of us out in the open, haven't you? But which one?
Denton.
That's the...
Get him!
No, yes. You're not going anywhere, old man.
Nice going, pal.
Thank you.
That was one sweet right cross.
Yes, I'm sure Bennett's appreciated it. We couldn't have him walking out on us, could we?
No, wouldn't have been at all polite.
Thanks for the help, old man. Whoever said Anglo-American relationships were deteriorating?
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
Luke Parker had found himself in the thick of a deadly game involving gun runners, drug addicts, and terrorists. But his quick thinking in diving for the man with the gun had saved what could have been a highly unfortunate situation. And the organization that employed Charles Denton? I'm afraid we cannot divulge information of that nature. The Official Secrets Act, you know. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
The Colgate Show, Address Unknown, is brought to you every Saturday by the makers of Colgate Dental Cream, Colgate Toothbrushes, Colgate Shampoo, Colgate Hairspray, and Colgate Talc. Listen again next Saturday evening at 7:30 when Henry Simon will introduce another story in the gripping and unusual series, The Colgate Show, Address Unknown. Listen on Monday morning at 8:45 to our next episode of The Reverend Matthew, a story of people, love, scandals, jealousies, ambitions, laughter, tears, and human conflicts.
This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Charlie Porter, address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
When Charlie Porter decided to take up boxing as a career, he was still selling newspapers in the Tottenham Court Road. But he'd been told by those who'd seen him participating in amateur bouts that he had a very great fistic future in store. Even so, he was determined not to let it go to his head. So he continued to sell his newspapers right up until the time he won his third professional bout in 1949. It was soon after this that he teamed up with a fight manager named Joshua Lawrence, who guided him steadily up the ladder of the preliminary ranks, finally securing him a supporting bout to a championship fight at the Haringey Stadium. Luck was against him, however, and in the second round his opponent swung a wild punch that lifted Charlie clean off his feet and put him back in his dressing room in a very dazed state of mind.
I didn't even see it coming, Josh. I was all set to finish him off, and I didn't even see it coming.
Oh, relax, Charlie boy. It was a lucky punch, that's all.
But I didn't even see it coming. If only I'd seen it coming, I'd have been all right. If only I'd seen it coming.
You just forget about it. It'll be a different story next time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, different story. Funny thing, though, I didn't even see it coming.
As fate would have it, that punch was not the last that Charlie didn't see coming. In his next 18 bouts, stretching over a period of almost 3 years, he took the count 15 times, and in the remaining 3 only managed to stay on his feet because his opponent was either too old or too tired to administer the coup de grace. Then came that eventful eve in the August of 1954, when Charlie Porter graced the Hampton Square for the last time. He was back at the bottom of the bill, and he wouldn't have been there except for the fact he was called as a last-minute substitute. For 4 rounds, he was mercilessly battered by a fusillade of punches, none of which he saw coming, but all of which took their toll, until at length, early in the 5th round, he sank to his knees. He tried to rise, but his legs refused to function, and with the crowd's derision echoing in his ears, Charlie Porter took his final count.
I couldn't get up, Josh. I tried, but I just couldn't.
How'd you feel?
Okay. Bit woozy up top, but okay.
Well, this time I really mean it.
What?
You're through, Charlie. Finished.
Oh, now, Josh,
I'm not
fit.
arguing with you. You've taken too many beatings. I aim to see you don't take any more.
But I'm fit, I'll tell you. I'm as fit as ever I was.
No, you're not, kid. You're in bad shape. I didn't realise till tonight just how bad. You wandered around that ring like a man in a dream, letting Hogan hit you as he pleased. I looked for all the world like you couldn't even see him.
Oh, it was just I had a headache.
You always got a headache these days. It's small wonder. Tomorrow morning you're going to see the doc and have a thorough checkup.
If he says I'm okay, will you let me go on fighting?
I told you no.
Oh, please, Josh, you know how much it means to me. It's my whole life.
Oh, well, think about it. But only if he gives you a perfect bill of health.
Oh, he will. Like I keep telling you, I'm as fit as ever I was.
All right, Charlie, you can come back in now.
Thanks, Doc. Did you check the x-rays?
Yes, I checked them.
Well, what's the verdict?
You a married man, Charlie?
No, sir. Oh, there'll be time enough for that when I retire from the ring. I've got to make me name first.
We can't all make the top, son.
Oh, I'll get there. I've just had a runabout, that's all.
Tell me, what's your mother think about you fighting for a living?
I haven't got a mother, sir. She died when I was a baby.
Father?
Well, no family at all.
No close relatives?
Well, not that I know of. You see, I was raised in an orphanage, but why all the questions?
Oh, just curious. I'm afraid Josh was right, Charlie. Your fighting days are over.
Ah, you're kidding me, Doc.
Only wish I were.
But there's nothing the matter with me. I feel great. And if those x-rays say any different, they're wrong.
How about that headache?
Well, it's still there a little, but it's better than it was.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I can't pass you.
Now, Doc, you've got to. Look, what do I have to do to prove I'm okay? I'll do anything you want. Anything, if you'll only...
You're beating your head against the wall, son. There's nothing you or anyone else can do to prove you're fit when you're not.
But what's wrong with me?
To put it in 3 short words. Too many punches.
I'll go to another doctor. I'll even get myself another manager if I have to. Nobody's going to stop me fighting. Nobody. Jer?
Charlie, you can go to a dozen other doctors and find yourself twice as many more managers. But it won't make any difference. You should know that where the boxing authorities are concerned, my word is law. If I say you're out, you're out. That's all there is to it. You've taken your last licking, son. You'll never fight again.
You want Want to see me, Doc?
Sit down, Josh.
Where's Charlie?
He's gone.
I was supposed to meet him here.
He told me to tell you he couldn't wait.
And from that and your expression, I take it the x-rays didn't come out so good.
You should have made him quit a long time ago.
You think I didn't try? Doc, that kid's like my own son. I'd do anything in the world for him.
Oh, I know you would, Josh. That's the whole trouble. You've done too much. By letting him have his own way, by being soft with him, you've done more damage than you'll ever know. You let sentiment warp your judgment. And in this business, that's a fatal mistake.
Give it to me straight, Doc. What's wrong with him?
He's got a brain tumor.
Is that as bad as it sounds?
Couldn't be much worse.
Did you tell him?
I thought I'd leave that to you. All I told him was he had to quit. He took it very badly.
Can anything be done?
If he's operated on immediately, there's a faint chance.
And if not?
He'll be dead inside a month.
Cleveland Private Hotel.
Hello. Is Charlie Porter there?
No, I'm sorry, he just left.
When you fit him back?
We doubt he's moved out.
What?
Just a few minutes ago. Who is it calling?
Josh Lawrence, his manager.
Oh, yes. Yes, he left a message for you, Mr. Lawrence. Have it here at the desk. Would you like me to read it out?
Please.
It's just a few lines scribbled on the back of an envelope. Dear Josh, I'm going away. I don't know where, but the doc says I'm through with fighting, so it doesn't really matter. I probably won't see you again, but I'll never forget all the good turns you've done for me. Thanks for everything, Charlie.
For the Missing Persons Bureau, the case of Charlie Porter had its beginning 2 days later, when I was visited here in my office by Joshua Lawrence, who acquainted me with the facts as I presented them to you.
He's dying, Mr. Simon, and he doesn't know it. Only an operation can save him, even that's 100 to 1 against. But there's a chance. There's a chance he'll come through if he's operated on right away. And that means in the next few days.
Doesn't give us long.
You've got to find him, Mr. Simon. I'll pay whatever you want. Just find him, that's all.
I take it you already made certain inquiries.
I've looked everywhere and checked with everyone I can think of. But for all the progress I've made, I could have saved me time. No one's seen him. No one's heard from him. He's just disappeared.
How's he placed for money?
We can't have more than a few pounds. 10 perhaps. 15 at the outside.
It won't take him far.
He doesn't have to. In London, he could bury himself in any one of a million places.
Right. He had rooms in Hammersmith, you say?
He was at a private hotel, the Cleveland, Essex Road.
And he left this message with the proprietor.
Yes. I don't blame him for not wanting to see me again. This whole thing's my fault. If I'd made him quit 12 months ago, it'd be okay.
He's not aware of that, though, is he? What I mean is he can scarcely blame you for something about which he knows nothing.
Well, that's a fat consolation.
You've been his manager since 1949.
I've been a father and mother to him. At least I've tried to be. As a fighter, he hasn't been worth a peanut since he lost that sport bout at Haringey. One punch and it wrecked his whole career. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it happen. If I hadn't stood by and watched him being slowly chopped to ribbons by fellows who had whipped him with both arms tied behind their backs. Just like that, his timing left him. His speed, his concentration, everything. All because of one rotten Sunday punch. That's when he should have got out there and then. But how was I to know? Before that, the kid had a future, a big one. Another year, he'd been on top. But instead, what happens? He takes a nosedive and winds up with his brain scrambled.
The luck of the game. Isn't that what they say?
Don't talk to me about luck. So help me, if that kid dies...
There's little to be achieved by blaming yourself.
Who else can I blame? I let him go on, didn't I? I let him beat him to a pulp.
He wanted to continue fighting, and because he wanted it, you let him. It was foolish of you, even more foolish of him. But even the wisest and the very best of us make mistakes. Oh, by the way, I don't believe you mentioned his age.
24.
Have you got a photograph of him?
I've got a whole folder full here. Old publicity stills. You can take your pick.
How long ago were these taken?
A few years. He hasn't changed much to look at, though. Got his nose broken twice, but they mended it up like new. Too bad they can't do the same with his head.
Perhaps they will, if we find him.
What are the odds, Mr. Simon? Let me have it on the chin. Do you think we...
It's quite impossible to say just now. We'll do the very best we can, and that's all I can promise.
You'll let me know if anything comes up?
Of course.
My number's on that card. You can reach me there any time.
Fine.
Look, I'm sorry I went to pieces a bit earlier. It's just that I'm pretty much on edge.
Understandably so.
I've seen this kind of thing happen a dozen times to other boys. I was in the ring myself once. Almost lost my eyesight. If I hadn't got out when I did, I'd have probably been where Charlie is today.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
It was a tragic business, whichever way one looked at it. Yet to a certain extent, it had been brought about by the two people involved, Joshua Lawrence and Charlie Porter themselves, who were now, so far as we were concerned, client and quarry. Accordingly, directly Lawrence had taken his leave, I sent for Agent Bob Hunter and briefed him on the various aspects of the case. As far as I can gather, Hunter, the boy seems to have spent his entire life in London. He was born and bred here, and apart from the odd country tour, he's never been further afield than Stepney. His parents are dead, he has no relatives to speak of, and outside of the boxing profession, he has very few friends.
Well, no romantic interests?
Not to Lawrence's knowledge.
Leaves us with a pretty open field, Chief.
Yeah, I'm afraid so, especially in view of the time limit.
Yeah. What about before he turned pro? How'd he make a living?
Selling newspapers. That was his other world, the world he grew up in.
Maybe he's gone back to it.
It's conceivable. See, I've made some notes here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, from the age of 14, he worked for a newsagent on the Tottenham Court Road, Donald Baker. He was still employed there when Lawrence first met him.
This Baker's still in business?
Well, there's a D.L. Baker newsagent listed in the current phone directory, 142 Tottenham Court Road. I expect it's the same man.
142.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Chief, I've got to have a talk to him, see what he knows.
At Baker's news agency, not very far from Goodge Street Tube Station in the Tottenham Court Road, Hunter sought out the proprietor, Donald Baker, a plumpish, balding man of middle age.
Charlie Porter.
That's right.
Whatever happened to that lad? Haven't heard of him in years. Not since I saw his name on the sporting bill at the Albert Hall. Oh, it must have been back in 51 or 52.
Oh, he hasn't get in touch?
He did for a while, when he was winning. Then he dropped a few bouts and, well, just faded out of the picture.
How long was he working for you?
Oh, let's see now. It must have been 5 or 6 years. Had a stand up on the corner of Oxford Street. Come to be a sort of home to him. Worked like a Trojan, he did, from 6 a.m. in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, except when he was fighting. I used to be an amateur then, of course.
Guess you got to know him pretty well.
Oh, about as well as anyone did. He was a nice lad. Had a good heart, you know. And no one was ever more willing. Oh, I was sorry to lose him, I can tell you.
Where was he living then?
Somewhere in Aldgate, I think. Out Painter Roadway.
I don't suppose you'd have the address.
It's probably around somewhere, I could look it up for you.
Oh, if it's not too much trouble, I'd sure appreciate it.
I'll have to go upstairs, though. I'll just ring for the wife. Never mind the shop while I'm gone. Oh, sorry to keep you so long. Got so much junk up there, I can never find anything when I want it.
That's okay. Any luck?
Yep, for what it's worth. Yeah, so here it is. Charlie Porter, dear Mrs. T. Hollis, 221 Fowler Street, Aldgate.
The Fowler Street address proved to be a decrepit lodging house in an untoo savoury area. Groups of ragged children were playing games ranging from football to hopscotch in the centre of the road, which was lined by heavily laden garbage tins waiting to be emptied.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon, ma'am. Could you tell me if a Mrs. Hollis lives here?
Why, yes, I'm Mrs. Hollis.
Oh, well, I'm glad to know you. I'm Bob Hunter from the Missing Persons Bureau.
The police?
Oh, no. No, we're a private organization.
Oh, for a moment you had me worried. I thought perhaps one or other of my lodgers might have been in trouble.
Well, no. Actually, it is about a former lodger of yours that I've come.
Oh?
Yeah, a young fellow by the name of Charlie Porter.
Charlie?
You remember him?
I should say I do. Looked after him for long enough. Well, I was like one of my own. Till he went into that fight business. Nearly broke me heart, it did. Fine boy like that.
I take it you don't approve of fighters.
It's what they do to each other I don't approve of. Anyway, he left me not long after.
Have you seen him since?
No, had a few letters from him for a time, but... Well, I suppose he was hurt because I never went to any of his fights.
Yeah.
But what's this all about? Has he got himself in some kind of scrape?
Well, sort of. He's disappeared.
Disappeared from where?
From where he was living. And a friend of his wants to contact him urgently.
Has he retired from the ring then?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad. Oh, but I suppose he'll go back to it again, directly the fancy takes him.
No, he won't, Mrs. Hollis. You can rest easy on that score. He's out for good. The big problem is, well, it's vital that I reach him in the next few days. That's why I'm here. I thought perhaps you might be able to give me some kind of a lead. You know, the name of a friend he might have turned to, maybe, or someone he knew in the old days when he was selling his newspapers.
Oh, there's only one person I can think of outside of myself, and that's Mavis.
Mavis?
Mavis Denton. She and Charlie were sweethearts.
Yeah?
Till he started fighting seriously, that is. She was more against it than I was. In the end, they had a bust up. She went her way and he went his. They were so wrapped up in each other, too. It was a terrible shame.
Any notion where I could reach her?
Oh, yes. She was not far from here in Clarence Lane. You won't catch her home now, though. She works during the day.
Where?
Woolworths. Serves behind the counter.
Do you know which branch?
The one near the station. You'd have passed it on your way here.
She is still Miss Denton, is she? Or,
Oh, yes. Got herself engaged once, but it never came to anything. She's never really forgotten Charlie. Doubt she ever will.
Well, thank you very much. I guess I'll go have a chat with her.
You shouldn't have any trouble finding her. She's blonde and very pretty. Works on the electrical goods counter. Just by the door as you go in.
As luck would have it, Hunter encountered Mavis Denton as she was leaving to take a tea break, and having introduced himself, persuaded her to join him for a cup of coffee at a nearby cafe.
No, Mr. Hunter, I'm sorry. Charlie and I have lost touch completely. I haven't set eyes on him since we quarrelled about his fighting. He left the district soon after that.
Well, is there anybody you could think of who might know something? You know, anyone at all he's likely to contact?
Not really. Apart from Mrs. Hollis and myself, he didn't have many close acquaintances. You say he's retired from the ring?
Yeah, that's right.
He hasn't been hurt, has he?
Oh, well, he's taken a lot of punishment over the last few years. More than that's good for anybody.
I tried to warn him, to try and talk him out of it, but he wouldn't listen. He had been told that he had the makings of a champion, and... Well, he had always wanted to be someone, and the temptation was just too much for him.
It's an old story. They're all going to be champions when they start off. One or two make it, but the rest, big majority of them, they wind up like Charlie, broken down punch bags.
Oh, it's so wrong. So dreadfully wrong.
Well, I guess they figure it's worth the risk.
Have you tried Bill Palmer?
Bill Palmer? Who's he?
Oh, he has a grocery store up the street. Charlie used to run errands for him when he had time off from his newspaper stand.
Uh-huh.
Occasionally they went to the football together, just the two of them. Yes, they were pretty close at one time. I know Charlie thought a lot of Bill.
Bill Palmer, up the street, huh?
About 3 blocks up on this side. Oh, there's a big green sign up out in the front. Buy your groceries here.
Oh, yes, he was quite a boy, was Charlie, Mr. Hunter. Full of beans and plenty of drive. Must say, though, it didn't get him far in the ring. Only saw him fight once. That was enough. Yes, got the ears belted off him. Sheer murder it was. That's too bad. You know, I really thought he had it.
Yeah. You haven't heard from him at all lately, I suppose?
No, I'm afraid not. For all I know, he could be dead.
Yeah, well, if I don't find him in a hurry, he will be.
What's that?
Well, he's got to go in a hospital for a brain operation. Hence the urgency.
Doesn't he know about it?
No. It's a terrible thing. He cleared out before anybody had a chance to tell him. So you can see, Mr. Palmer, how vital it is. Try and think. When he left the hotel where he was staying, he was broken up. Now, his whole world had just been shattered because he'd been told he had to give up fighting. Now, can you think, where would he go in that state of mind? Who would he turn to? Not Mrs. Hollis or Mavis Denton, and not you, but who else is there?
Yes, wait a minute. When he was a kid and things weren't too good, he always used to fall back on old Father Jeffries.
Father Jeffries?
Yes.
Priest?
Yes, priest. Charlie's strict Catholic, you know. Brought up in a Catholic orphanage.
Is this Father Jeffries still alive, do you happen to know?
I couldn't rightly say.
You see, this here used to be his parish till about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Then he was moved out to Putney somewhere or other. You could ask at the presbytery, they'd know.
Father Jeffries?
That's right,
Why, yes, we hear from him quite often.
He's at Putney now, I understand.
Yes, St. Mary's Church in Wesley Road.
Father Jeffries proved to be a man in his early 70s, but age rested lightly on his shoulders, and he carried himself erect, his cheerful reddish face curiously free of wrinkles, his blue eyes keen and clear, and his smile broad, ready, and infectious.
I'm delighted to make your acquaintance, Mr. Hunter. Do sit down. Make yourself comfortable.
Well, thank you, Father, but I'm kind of pressed for time yet.
As you wish. But tell me, to what do I owe this pleasure?
It has to do with an old parishioner of yours, a fellow named Charlie Porter.
Charlie?
Yeah.
What about him?
Well, have you heard from him at all recently? I mean, over the past week or so?
Oh, why do you ask?
Well, it's vital that I contact him as soon as possible.
Vital to whom?
To Charlie himself. He's dying, Father, and he doesn't know it.
Dying?
Yeah, he has a brain tumor. The odds are against it, but an immediate operation might save him, so you see...
Enough said, Mr. Hunter. Come with me.
Where?
I have heard from Charlie. 4 days ago he came here, and he told me the doctor had said that he had to give up fighting, and wanted to know if I knew of any kind of job that might suit him. He always used to come to me with his woes, you know, whenever he needed guidance or a shoulder to cry on.
Well, were you able to help him as regards the job, I mean?
Well, you might have noticed we have a rather beautiful garden here, as well as a large expanse of lawn.
Yeah, I saw a guy hard at work with a mower out there.
Yes, I used to push that same mower myself and tend the garden, but I'm afraid the years are catching up with me. No longer as active as I was, nor do I have the time to devote to it that I had. And that's why I was only too happy to let someone else take over.
Well, I'm sure you were, Father, but...
And you should have taken a closer look at that man behind the mower.
Huh?
Charlie Porter, Mr. Hunter. Shall we join him?
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Charlie Porter received the news that he was dying a good deal more calmly than he had the doctor's verdict that he must give up fighting. It was Father Jeffries who convinced him, finally, that he still had very much to live for, and restored in him the will to carry on. Accordingly, 3 days later, the operation took place, and thanks to the skill of a prominent London brain surgeon, it was a success. On his subsequent release from hospital, Charlie was dispatched by Joshua Lawrence to a rest home in the north of England, where he was later visited by Mavis Denton, who the following year became his wife. And so, from the very jaws of tragedy, ultimate happiness emerged. And now, this is Henry Simon, inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir. This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for Andrew Philpott, address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
As I have often said in the past, the tracing of missing persons is a fascinating occupation. Every year, countless men and women disappear under widely differing circumstances and for widely different reasons. One way or another, the majority of these people are traced. but quite a number are never seen again. Where do they go? How do they go? Why do they go? Those are the three basic and most pertinent questions, which, if they happen to remain unanswered, become synonymous with the classification, address unknown. It was a cool October morning in the year 1952. From my office window, I looked down on the street below. Whitehall, home of the civil servant. At one end, Trafalgar Square, at the other, Big Ben, and lining the pavements on either side, various government offices. Toward the river, the headquarters of the Horse Guards, and further on still, Downing Street itself. Not so different from the Whitehall of 100 years ago, except, of course, that cars have taken the place of carriages, and people are wearing different sort of clothes.
Hey, you're not thinking of jumping out, are you, Chief?
Oh, good morning, Studdy. I was just meditating upon the changes that the past century has wrought on the ancient thoroughfare of Whitehall.
Well, the way it looks, it hasn't changed in 10 centuries. If you ask me, it needs a facelift.
It has a certain charm about it.
Yeah, well, that kind of charm I can live without.
In that case, I shall close the window. I can see that you're in one of your caustic moods.
Oh, I guess I got out of bed on the wrong side. Did you read that Paxton report by any chance?
Not yet. I'll get around to it this afternoon. I'm expecting a client at any moment. A fellow named Hopkins. He rang for an appointment yesterday.
Anything of note?
It's difficult to say. Kept gabbling on about this and that, going off tangents, you know. Seems he owns a block of flats, and one of his tenants has disappeared.
Oh, don't tell me he wants us to collect some back rent.
It'd need to be a very considerable sum to make it worth his while coming to us.
Hey, don't you believe it. Some of these landlord characters cheerfully spend a fortune to collect sixpence. I had one chase me from Gravesend to Chalk Farm once, claimed I owed 10p on a gas bill.
Oh, did you pay up?
Yeah, but not before he'd spent a good 10 bob on phone calls and so forth. Then it turned out it was his mistake anyway, so he had to spend another bob or so posting it back.
At least he was honest.
Ah, for 10p he could be Al Capone.
Yes?
There's a Mr. Hopkins here to see you, Mr. Simon.
Oh, fine. Thank you, Pauline. Would you ask him to wait just a moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chief, I'll leave you to it.
There's nothing else we had to discuss, was there?
No, not that I can think of. I'll be in my office if you want me. You won't forget that report now, will you?
No, I shall have finished reading it by 3. Oh, you might tell Pauline to bring in Mr. Hopkins as you go out, will you?
Uh-huh. Hey, it just struck me. If this guy owns a block of flats and he's lost a tenant, he must have a vacancy going. Now put in a word for me, will you? I'm in the market for a flat myself.
He was an elderly man, well in his 60s, with longish grey hair and a tobacco-stained walrus moustache. His front teeth were also stained, and when he smiled he revealed 3 prominent gold fillings, which looked as much a part of him as the teeth themselves. He had a slight squint in his left eye and a receding chin that gave his face a sort of mournful expression. His fawn suit had a rather faded look, and the hat he carried had been in fashion 30 years before.
I'll just rest it here on the desk, if that's all right with you, Mr. Simon.
Certainly.
Wouldn't part with that hat for the world. I've had it since 1925.
It stood the test of time well?
Same as these here shoes, 1933, and I've only had 'em half-soled 4 times.
Remarkable.
Oh, they made good stuff in those days, and no mistake. A far cry from the trash they turn out now. Now, take this suit. Believe it or not, there's 20 years' wear there. Bought it the year after I got the shoes. No, I'm a liar. The year before.
Well, that's really
now, by way of contrast, how long have you had yours?
I beg your pardon?
The suit you've got on, how old is it?
I'm afraid it can't lay claim to any great feat of endurance. Actually, it's quite new.
6 months a year.
Oh, nearer to 6 months.
There you are. And already it's had to be stitched up around the edges.
Well, not exactly. It's the way I bought it. It's hand-sewn.
Well, there again, there are hands and hands. The hands of today is nowhere near as steady as it used to be. You ask me why, I'll tell you. For one thing...
Yes, well, I think perhaps you'd better tell me some other time, if you don't mind. See, I've got rather a busy morning ahead of me, and, as a matter of fact, I'm rather curious to hear more about this missing tenant you were telling me about on the phone.
Ah, there's a puzzle, if you like it. Fair disappeared, he has. Gone with the wind, so to speak.
I don't believe you happened to mention his name.
Philpott, Andy Philpott.
Philpott. Mm-hmm. Now, I understand you to say that he occupied a flat in a block owned by yourself. Is that right?
Number 4 on the 2nd, directly above mine.
Do you live there as well?
Oh, that I do. Been there 7 years.
And Philpott?
About 10 months. He moved in just after Christmas.
How many other tenants are there?
4. 6 flats altogether, including my own.
And the address is?
54 Syme Avenue, Brixton.
54 Syme Avenue, Brixton. That's fine. Now, when did Philpott disappear exactly?
2 weeks ago tomorrow, September the 28th.
Now, was that when you discovered that he was missing, or the actual date of his disappearance?
The actual date. He was there on the evening of the 27th because we played chess together in his flat. It was a regular thing on weeknights, so we'd get together at 8 sharp and play on till round 11.
Every weeknight?
Without a miss. That's how I knew he'd gone. I went up and he wasn't there. In the middle of a game we were, too. I remember he'd just taken my rook and I had his king in check. Well, you can see the board if you like. I've still got the pieces set up.
You would have access to his flat, of course.
Access to all 6 of them.
Now, did he take his things with him, or...
So far as I can see, he didn't take nothing. Not even old Scaramouche.
Old Scaramouche?
His parrot. That's what really has me guessing. He worshipped that flipping bird, he did. For the life of me, I can't see him just going off and leaving it there. It was like a son to him.
Oh, speaking of relatives, has he any family?
Well, I got an idea his mother's still living, and there might be a sister as well. I wouldn't be sure, though. Haven't a clue how you'd go about contacting them.
Ah. Now, you said all his belongings are still there in the flat.
Just as he left him.
How old would he be, approximately?
Oh, 50-ish.
Did he have a job?
No, he lived on some form of income. Cheque used to arrive for him in the mail, regular each month. Don't ask me who sent it or what it was for, though, because I haven't the foggiest. He just referred to it as his cheque, like anyone else might talk of their wages.
But he didn't work at all?
Not that I know of. He hardly ever left the place, just sat around all day.
Well, perhaps he's met with an accident of some kind. Have you checked with the various hospitals?
Everyone in the book. Nothing.
Have you thought of going to the police?
Well, I did think of it, but, I didn't want any trouble if it could be avoided, and that's why I settled for you.
You realise it's going to cost you money?
Oh, that's all right, I've got it. He was a nice sort of bloke, you know, and, this is the least I can do.
Oh, quite. Did he happen to have any other friends at all that you know of?
No, not a one. Never had a visitor all the time he was there, except for me.
And you saw him last on the evening of the 27th?
That's right. We were playing in his flat that week. We take it turnabout.
I see. How did he seem?
Oh, same as always. Well, that is, I didn't notice anything funny about him. We knocked off at the usual time, had a noggin, and I went down to bed.
And it wasn't until the following evening that you discovered that he'd gone?
That's right. I went up there and knocked. When he didn't answer, I went inside. At the time, I thought he must have just gone out somewhere. But when he didn't come back, well, you know how it is. You just go on waiting, putting off doing anything, till before you know it, he's been gone nigh on a fortnight.
Yes, quite. OK, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll send a man back to the flats with you, and he can have a look round, see if he can unearth any clues.
Well, I've been over it pretty thorough myself, but I suppose it can't hurt.
Fine. Excuse me a moment, will you? I'll send for him.
Yeah.
Pauline, ask Mr. Studdy to come in, will you? And so it was that Studdy accompanied Hopkins back to the latter's block of flats in Syme Avenue, Brixton. It was a pre-war block in reasonable condition, and it consisted of 3 floors with 2 flats on each. Philpott's was on the first. Self-contained, it consisted of a bed-sitting room, bathroom, and kitchen. On the whole, it seemed to be reasonably tidy, except for an unwashed coffee cup on a chair by the window and an overturned ashtray on the divan.
And this is exactly how you found the place, eh?
I haven't touched a thing. Like I told Mr. Simon, even the chess pieces are as they were when we left off playing. You see, the king's air in check.
What about the parrot?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I did touch something. Miss Parker's looking after it. She's the tenant across the way, a retired school teacher. Been here for about 3 years. Oh, that could be her now. She knew I was going in to see Mr. Simon this morning. If I know her, she'll want to know all the details.
Yoo-hoo! Mr. Hopkins, are you in there?
As if you didn't know. All right if I let her in?
Why not?
Well, I can think of plenty of reasons.
Oh, Mr. Hopkins, I heard you come up with the other gentleman. I thought you'd probably be from the missing persons place. Might want to see me, so here I am.
Well, come in, Miss Parker.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Studdy? So nice to meet you.
You know my name?
No, I happened to overhear Mr. Hopkins call you that as you were coming up the stairs.
You have sharp ears.
Not half as sharp as a nose.
I understand you're taking care of Mr. Philpott's parrot.
That's right, Scaramouche. Would you like to see him?
Later, maybe.
He's such a cute little darling. Talks all the time. They're amazingly intelligent birds, don't you think?
Oh, amazingly. You said a moment ago you thought I might want to see you. Why exactly?
Why? Oh, well, after all, I am, or rather I was, Mr. Philpott's next-door neighbour.
So?
So I'd be the first person you'd want to talk to, wouldn't I?
That depends on what you have to tell me. Did you see or hear anything that might have some bearing on his disappearance?
Well, no, not really. But I didn't need to. I'd had my suspicions about what happened to him from the start. Now I'm sure of it.
Sure of what?
He was murdered.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Delivered as it was, calmly and with absolute conviction, Miss Parker's announcement that Andrew Philpott had been murdered rocked Studdy on his heels. Hopkins, too, stared open-mouthed at the tiny, hawk-faced woman, who, sensing the impression she had made, drew herself up to her full height, and with just the suggestion of a tremor in her voice, repeated the statement.
That's right. I said he was murdered.
She's off an onion. Balmy.
That's a pretty serious allegation, Miss Parker.
Nevertheless, I'm prepared to stand by it.
Uh-huh. And may I ask why you've made no effort to contact the police?
I wanted to wait until I was sure.
I see. Well, suppose you elaborate. Tell us how you arrived at this conclusion.
Oh, I had my suspicions about him all along.
You mean about Philpott?
Yes, ever since I found out about those letters.
What letters?
The letters with the money. The ones he received every month.
Oh, yes. I believe Mr. Hopkins mentioned something about his having a private income.
Income is a polite word to use.
Just what are you inferring?
I'm inferring that Mr. Philpott was a blackmailer, and that the money he received every month was extorted from one of his victims.
Cool, lummy, now I've heard the lot.
Anyone with half an eye could see he wasn't the sort of man to have private means.
It could have come from anywhere, you silly old goose.
Mr. Hopkins, please.
How did you find out about the letters, anyhow? As if I didn't know.
I made it my business to find out about them. To my mind, a man of his age who doesn't work is someone to be watched. He never had any callers. He rarely ever went out. In fact, the only contact he seemed to have with the outside world was those letters. Is it any wonder I became curious about them?
I suppose you steamed one open to find out what was inside.
Precisely. I waited my chance, and sure enough, I happened to be out front one morning when the postman arrived. Mr. Philpott didn't seem to be about, so I took delivery for him. It was registered, of course, but the postman knew me, and he let me sign for it. Then I took it upstairs and steamed it open with the kettle.
And out popped one of Mother Carey's chickens.
There was just a cheque inside, made out to cash. No covering note, nothing but the cheque.
All right, we'll bite. For how much?
£50.
Well, that's all very natty, Miss Parker, but what with blackmail and steaming letters open and so forth, where does murder come into it?
It stands to reason. His blackmail victim finally caught up with him.
In other words, the person who'd been sending him the check?
Of course.
And where did he put the body? Down the flipping sink?
There are many ways of disposing of a body, Mr. Hopkins.
I can name one I'd like to dispose of here and now.
But I haven't finished yet. There's more to come.
God help us.
I think the proof of what I've just said lies in the fact that this month's letter hasn't arrived.
Eh?
It was due on the 6th. It is now the 11th. It could have been delayed, of course, but it would seem a little too much of coincidence that it should happen now of all times, particularly as it's never been late before.
You mean to say it used to come on a certain day of the month?
The Thursday of every 4th week, without fail.
And it was due last Thursday, eh?
It was.
So what does that prove?
Just this, Mr. Hopkins. Whoever was sending him those checks knew there was no need to send him one this month, because he wasn't here to receive it. And the only person who could have known that, apart from ourselves, was the man who murdered him.
Oh, but Miss Parker, you can't say a man's been murdered unless you have direct evidence of
If
some
that's
kind of...
not direct enough, I'd like to know what is.
Well, as Mr. Hopkins pointed out a moment ago, for one thing, you need a body.
No, I've no doubt that will be found in due course. Besides, isn't that what you specialize in? finding things?
Yes, but live things, not dead ones.
I shouldn't think it makes any difference. But I don't intend to stand here and argue the point. I've done my duty by telling you all I know. I can't do more than that.
No, ma'am.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll get back to Scaramouche.
You're excused.
I'll see you later, Mr. Hopkins. Good morning, Mr. Sully.
Her and that flippin' parrot make a good pair. Neither one of 'em ever stops talking, and they both make as much sense as each other, with the parrot in front by a beak.
Oh, remind me to keep clear of the parrot.
Yeah, all the same, there's something in what she says about that letter not coming.
Yeah. I meant to ask her if she happened to notice the postmark on the one she steamed open.
Well, just open the door. You'll find her out there listening. How do you do, Miss Parker? Lovely day.
Oh, Mr. Hopkins, you frightened the life out of me. I was just...
Just listening at the keyhole, I know. Mr. Studdy wants to ask you about the postmark on that letter, the one you steamed open.
Oh.
Yes, you didn't make a note of it by any chance?
Oh, dear me, no, I didn't. I was in such a hurry to seal it back up and get it to Mr. Philpott. It didn't occur to me.
Right, thank you, Miss Parker. Good morning. Wouldn't you know it? When she gets a big chance to be of some real help, she don't even know what day it is.
Yeah, it's a pity. Whoever's been sending those checks could be the one person who might know something.
Well, why don't we have a look around? Never can tell. Might come across one of the old envelopes.
Yeah, we might at that. Come on, we'll start on these drawers. You take that lot, I'll take this.
Between them, the two men searched Andrew Philpott's flat from top to bottom, going through cupboards, turning out drawers, the pockets of old clothes, and inside 20 minutes they'd unearthed not one but 4 identical envelopes, all bearing registration marks, and all quite obviously from the very same source.
Well, I guess these must be the ones.
Not much doubt of it. He didn't get any other mail that I know of. Nosey'll soon tell us. Hey, Maggie!
Did anyone call?
Come here and look at these. Are they the envelopes the checks come in?
Oh, that's them all right. I'd recognise that writing anywhere.
Yes, well, there's no sender's address, but the postmark's clear enough on these two. Malabar, Norfolk.
Without returning to the office, Studdy went direct from Brixton to Euston Station, where he boarded the 1:30 p.m. train to Norwich, some 25 miles west of Malabar, the position of which he'd been able to check on his pocket atlas. At Norwich, he took another train as far as Denham, completing his journey in a milk wagon, which was travelling through Malabar to Walsingham. The wagon itself had been parked at Denham Station, and in reply to his inquiries, the driver had offered him a lift. An outlying village with a shopping centre that consisted of a single row of stores, a post office, a garage and 2 taverns, Malabar was not exactly the most inspiring town the agent had visited, but it was small, and so far as Studdy was concerned, this was the most important item. Alighting from the wagon in front of the garage, he thanked the driver and then made his way across the street to the post office, which was also a form of news agency.
Hello! Anyone about?
Coming. Afternoon, sir. Just in time. I was about to close up for the day. But you made it, that's the main thing. Now then, what can I be doing for you?
These envelopes, they were all registered and posted from here. I was wondering if you could tell me who sent them.
Huh? Oh. Yeah, let's see now. I'll be needing me specs.
You see, for the past 10 months they've been sent regularly to this address in London at the rate of 1 a month. Presumably they were posted every 4th Wednesday morning to arrive in London on a Thursday.
Of course.
Do you recognize them?
Emily Donkins, the girl you're after.
The girl?
Aye. Oh, Ma Donkin's daughter. Poor Ma. Too bad about that heart of hers. She's been lingering on for quite a time now. She can't last much longer.
Well, where can I find her, the daughter?
Oh, she lives with Ma. Never found herself a husband. Hard as she tried. 35 if she's a day. Still, some of them has to miss out, I suppose.
Are they far from here?
Oh, half a mile down the road. Turn left by the church, and it's the first house on your right.
It was a tiny weatherboard cottage with a blue tin roof which was badly in need of painting, and a front door that was all but swinging loose on its hinges.
Yes? What is it?
I'd like to speak to Miss Donkin, if I may. Miss Emily Donkin?
She went over to the cooper's place to borrow some eggs. She shouldn't be long.
Oh. Do you mind if I wait?
Not at all. Come along in. But be as quiet as you can if you don't mind. My mother's very ill. She's asleep at the moment, but it won't take much to wake her. You sit in the front room.
Ah, thanks. Studdy's the name, by the way. Paul Studdy.
Pleased to meet you, sir. I'm Andy Philpott.
He came out so suddenly that for a moment Studdy wondered why the name sounded so familiar. Then it dawned on him that he was face to face with his quarry. Andy Philpott was no less surprised when Studdy, in his turn, identified himself as a private inquiry agent who had been retained to locate him, and had come to Malabar on the off chance of gaining some information in this respect. He soon recovered from the shock, however, and a moment later he was explaining the whys and the wherefores of his own presence.
Oh, it's really quite simple. As I said, my mother's ill. Dying, in fact. I'm here because she sent for me.
Sent for you? How?
Emily, she's my stepsister, by the way. She came up to London to collect some special drugs the doctor had prescribed. I came back with her.
Oh, without telling Hopkins or leaving any message to let him know that where you had gone?
Well, she arrived at the flat after midnight. I knew George would be in bed, probably asleep, so I didn't bother him. Besides, I was pretty shaken by the news of Mother's condition. I just wanted to get here as soon as possible. On top of that, we only had 40 minutes to catch the late train. I would have left a note, but I couldn't find a pencil.
Well, couldn't you have written to him from here?
Oh, I've been meaning to, but what with one thing and another, I just haven't got round to it. I've barely left Mother's side since I arrived.
Ah.
As for the checks, which seem to have captured everyone's imagination, well, they were from Mother. Emily posted them on to me every month. It was a stipulation in my father's will that I should receive £650 a year from the money he left, if Mother married again, which she did. Normally I would have let her keep it, even though she's had more than enough to get by on, but I've got a pretty dicky heart myself. I'm not allowed to work or do anything that requires physical effort, so it's been my only means of support.
Ah. Well, so much for Miss Parker's inspired blackmail theory.
Ah, nosy old bag.
Ah, don't worry. You haven't heard the half of it. She had you murdered by your victim.
Yeah, she's the one who'll be murdered if she doesn't learn to mind her own business.
If not by you, by Hopkins, huh? Oh, she's looking after your parrot, by the way.
I thought she would be. She has a soft spot for him.
Yeah, so I gathered.
Two of a kind, that's what they are. Only difference is, Scaramouche has wings.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
And so the mystery of Andrew Philpott's disappearance was solved, with no bodies in attendance, no ransom notes, and not one drop of blood. Poor Miss Parker was most put out by the whole thing. Still, I expect she's recovered by now, and is doubtless still delving into everybody's affairs but her own. And now, this is Henry Simon, inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
In one moment, the search for Christopher Adamson, address unknown.
And here again is Henry Simon.
Sometimes before in this series of programs, I've talked about the motives for disappearances. It never ceases to surprise me that not only are two cases never the same, but there are even so many basically different reasons for a person not being where he or she ought to be. Just when I feel that I've now seen everything, along comes a case which is totally different from anything that's gone before. The disappearance of Christopher Adamson was an example of what I mean. His father, George Adamson, a noted London broker, came to see me one Monday morning in June of last year. George Adamson was a worried man, a kindly one, but a worried one. He came to report that his son Chris was missing and had been for some 2 days. His weathered face was creased with anxiety as he spoke to me.
I'm desperately worried, Mr. Simon. The more so because when I last saw Chris, we parted, not on the best of terms.
There was a quarrel?
Well, hardly, but we argued. Rather acrimoniously, I'm unhappy to say.
I don't think you should reproach yourself too bitterly, Mr. Adamson. Arguments occur in the best regulated of families.
Yes, I suppose so.
What did you argue about?
Oh, it seems so trivial in retrospect, I hardly remember. In any case, I'm quite sure it's neither important nor relevant.
Your son is how old?
Chris will be 22 at the end of November.
Mm-hmm. And what does he do?
Do?
Well, he works, I take it.
Oh, I'm afraid I misunderstood you for a moment. Actually, he doesn't, not yet. You see, he's only comparatively recently come out of the Army, National Service, you know. Well, he's going to join me in Adamson and Phelps when he's settled down.
Oh, did he find National Service so unsettling?
That's not quite what I intended to imply, Mr. Simon. I felt that when Chris came out of the Army that he should have a complete rest, complete break before entering the world of commerce.
Oh, yes?
Yes, there's a great future for Chris. Of course, I had to work the business up from scratch. Chris will inherit as is.
Quite.
My partner was killed during the war. Poor Godfrey. He was a brave man. He felt the call, and he didn't shirk his duty. Only 38 when he went, poor lad.
Oh, there are no other directors of your firm?
No, just me, near retiring age, and Chris. He's a lucky boy.
He certainly sounds it.
The whole position's absolutely gilt-edged as far as Chris is concerned. However, we're getting rather away from the purpose of my visit.
Yes, you say your son's been missing since the day before yesterday.
That's right, Saturday.
At what time on Saturday did you last see him?
Just after lunch, which we had together at our home at Caterham.
Oh, that's not too far away from Bromley in Kent, is it?
That's right.
And that's when the argument occurred?
I'm afraid so. It happened actually at lunch. Chris got up and went to his room. About an hour later, I went up there to see him, to try and make amends if I could, and he wasn't there. I called out to him, but there was no answer. I suddenly felt cold and lonely, as if I knew something had happened. Even so, I didn't really worry till that night. Then I thought Chris might have gone round to see his friend Peter. I decided not to worry. I went to bed early on Saturday. It'd been a trying week. And, of course, Chris had a key. I breakfasted in bed. I always do on a Sunday. It wasn't till about 11 that I realized that Chris hadn't come in, nor was he in the house. Well, then I panicked. I rang up everybody I could think of. No luck. I didn't know what to do. And then I thought of the Missing Persons Bureau. And I felt if anybody could help me, then it was you.
I'm very flattered. How did you hear of us in the first place?
You discovered the whereabouts of a friend, Harley Cuthbertson.
Oh, yes, I remember the case well.
So, here I am.
You haven't been in touch with the police?
No.
May I inquire why? This doesn't sound like a case where possible publicity would be harmful in any way.
I'll be quite frank with you, Mr. Simon. Quite apart from the fact that I don't think this is a case for the police, the publicity which might result from consulting them could well be injurious to me.
In what way?
I've been notified that I may expect a knighthood in the birthday honours list.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And naturally, I wish to avoid any possible scandal.
Yes, of course.
But I must find Chris.
Tell me, this sort of thing has never happened before?
Good heavens, no. It's completely uncharacteristic.
Well, Mr. Adamson, if you'll give me some half a dozen or so addresses, we'll see what we can do for you. After George Adamson's departure, I called in Agent Brad Farley and detailed the case to him. He listened in attentive silence. There was a long pause when I finished speaking. Then he spoke.
Chris Adamson. He'd be quite a catch, wouldn't he?
Meaning?
I mean from a blackmail point of view.
He would, but I don't think it's even remotely likely. This isn't Chicago, you know.
Yeah, okay, Chief. I know it happens very rarely in England, even so.
No, it looks to me rather like a case of pique. Son, newly endowed with freedom from the army, and perhaps even having attained some rank, doesn't yet feel like bowing to parental wishes.
Yeah, but from what you've told me, old Adamson seems rather a genial old stick.
Oh, yes, but even so.
Even so, it's worth considering.
I must say that when you said that Adamson would be quite a catch, I was thinking along rather different lines.
Cherchez la femme?
But with rather a difference. Whilst I think that our client is 100% reliable and honest, I don't think he gave us quite the complete picture.
Well, he answered all the questions you put to him, didn't he?
Very nearly. To be more accurate, he answered all but one.
That one being?
The cause of the lunchtime quarrel between himself and his son. Oh. The quarrel which took place immediately before Christopher Adamson's disappearance. When I questioned Mr. Adamson Sr., he simply said something to the effect that it had, well, no bearing on the case.
And that was the only question that he didn't answer?
Yes. But then I didn't ask all the questions.
Oh, why not?
I didn't want to do all your work for you, did I, Farley? I discussed the questions which I'd left unasked at some length with Farley. He was all for heading straight for Waltham, but I dissuaded him. I felt that as Chris Adamson's close friend Peter Simpson lived nearer at hand, he might call there first.
You're Mr. Peter Simpson?
That's right.
I'm Farley, Brad Farley, Missing Persons Bureau.
Are you indeed? Well, then you must be looking for Chris, right?
Check.
I've been away for the weekend, but my mother told me when I came in that Mr. Adamson had been on the telephone. What's it all about?
That's what I'm trying to find out. You were in the army with Christopher Adamson, right?
That's right. We were both in the signals.
Can you think of any reason for him having gone off like this?
No, I can't. But supposing he hasn't just gone off, supposing he's been kidnapped.
Yeah, that thought occurred to me. But it's not very likely. At least I'm told it isn't.
Well, he's quite a catch.
Yeah, something tells me I've been here before. Look, what about girlfriends, huh?
Mine or his?
His.
Norma O'Brien. Smasher. Nightclub hostess.
Oh, that sounds promising.
You should see her.
I intend doing just that. By the way, does the old man approve?
I don't really know that he's in the picture.
Oh.
Or if you're seeing him, I don't think I should mention it. Actually, I'm sure he wouldn't approve, although he'd be very nice about it. He is very nice.
Yeah, so everybody keeps telling me. Whereabouts this Norma O'Brien, Hyman?
Yes. Irish blood somewhere back down the line. I don't know where she lives, but she works every night at the Blue Feather off Forsyth Street.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
Do you think she's mixed up in all this?
Could be. She'd at least supply a motive of sorts.
Well, anything else I can tell you?
Not just a moment, no, but don't run away. I'll be back.
As the Blue Feather is a late nightclub, Farley decided to pay his visit to client before combining business and pleasure later in the evening. It was mid-afternoon when he reached Caterham in Surrey. He found the Adamson country house without too much trouble, and George Adamson was in and would see him at once.
Please sit down, Mr. Farley. Mr. Simon told me I could expect a call from you.
Thank you.
Is it too early to ask whether you have any news for me?
I'm afraid it is, yeah. I can take it from that your son hasn't put in an appearance since you spoke to Mr. Simon, and that you haven't heard from him, right?
I've heard nothing. I'd have notified you immediately if I had. I'm wondering if I should have called in the police.
Well, give us at least 24 hours, Mr. Adamson.
Yes, of course, I'm sorry. But I really am so terribly worried.
Yeah, well, there are just 3 questions I'd like to ask you, sir.
Yes, of course, anything.
Well, first of all, what about your son's girlfriends?
Well, I don't think he has any. Not steady ones, that is. Oh, he dated a number of pretty girls like any other young man of his age. But I don't think any more than once or twice at the most. What's your second question?
You told Mr. Simon that you couldn't think of any reason why his son should leave home voluntarily. You haven't thought of any reason since you left our office?
No, I haven't. I did tell Mr. Simon we'd had a bit of an argument on Saturday, though. Although I think that was hardly a motive for Chris to leave home.
Well, that brings me to the third question. What was the argument about?
Well, I did also say to Mr. Simon that couldn't possibly have anything to do with the case.
Yeah, I know you did, sir, but would you let me be the judge? Rest assured that anything you say to me will be treated as being in the strictest confidence.
Well, if you must know, we talked about money.
Oh. Funnily enough, that was another thing I was going to ask you. How does your son manage for money if he's not yet earning?
Well, he receives an allowance, of course. Oh. A more than adequate allowance. Also, is a small amount of savings under a compulsory army savings scheme. However, I don't think there's much of that left.
Well, then why did you quarrel about money?
Simply because he wanted me to invest money in a scheme which was neither practical nor desirable. I told him so, and he was upset. It wasn't the first time he brought the matter up. However, this time, I'm afraid he lost his temper, and things were said which, frankly, should not be said between father and son.
I see, yeah.
Were there any other questions, Mr. Farley?
Not right now, sir, but there will be later. And though he appeared to tell me more than he told you, Chief, now I come to analyze it, I don't think he did.
Well, at least you got the fact that the quarrel, which seems to loom all-important, was over money to be invested.
Yeah, sure, but it doesn't tell us much.
Not about our missing person, no, but it does tell us a little about client.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of money, that much is obvious. Yet he begrudges an investment advised by his son and heir. Now, why?
Mrs. Hartley left about 5 minutes ago. She put the phone through.
Missing Persons Bureau?
Could I speak to Mr. Simon, please?
Speaking.
Oh, Mr. Simon, I was hoping I'd catch you. It's George Adamson here. Chris is all right.
What?
Yes, he's safe, but we must stop looking for him.
I don't quite understand.
I just had a note. It came in the 5:30 delivery. It's from the kidnappers.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. You are listening to The Colgate Show, Address Unknown.
And here again is Henry Simon.
I must admit the news staggered me. Farley had mentioned the possibility of blackmail, but kidnapping was not even considered. Would you mind repeating that, Mr. Adamson?
I received a note from Chris's kidnappers. It arrived not 2 minutes ago.
Well, do you mind reading it to me?
Well, it does say that any search in progress must be called off.
Does it specifically say that you mustn't divulge its contents?
No.
Good. Then will you please read it to me?
It says, if you want to see your son again, you go to your bank first thing in the morning and get £10,000 in small denomination notes, used ones. When you get back to your house with the money, there will be a further communication. Your son is well, and he'll stay well so long as you follow out these instructions and also call off any search you may have instigated.
Well, at least they're literate. Is the note written or typed?
Looks like separate words cut out from newspapers.
It would be. What are you going to do?
I'm going to follow the instructions to the letter. £10,000 won't break me. The kidnappers had known me better, they'd have asked for more. I felt from the start that it was a case of kidnapping. My immediate feeling is one of relief.
Yes, I can understand that. You can rely on us to do nothing which might jeopardize your son's safety.
And I'm very glad you agreed to call off the investigation.
That's not quite what I said, Mr. Adamson. I said I do nothing to jeopardize your son's position, and I mean just that. However, there's one thing you can do for me, if you will.
What's that, Mr. Simon?
Please phone me after the kidnappers have contacted you tomorrow morning.
Do you think that's wise?
Mr. Adamson, this is not America. Your phone will not be tapped. Rely on me, and please trust me. But phone me. That evening, Farley went, as arranged, to the Blue Feather. It was far from the nightclub he'd expected, being almost a washed beatnik set-up. It all seemed very pleasant and wholesome. Farley arrived shortly after 9:30 and found that the floor show started at 11. The hour and a half passed very easily in the friendly atmosphere of the club. Then Norma O'Brien appeared. She sang very well. Afterwards, she joined the diners and dancers. Before long, she was sitting at Farley's table.
That was quite an act, Miss O'Brien.
Thank you.
Good for the ears and bad for the blood pressure.
Thank you again. You haven't been in here before?
No, but I'd enjoy your act however many times I heard it.
Well, that's not quite what I meant. I meant I haven't seen you here before.
Do you know all the clients?
Pretty well.
Well, you're quite right. I am new, yeah. Still, a friend of mine comes here, and he's often talked to me about it. I've been meaning to drop in for a long time. And tonight I got round to it. I phoned Chris, but he wasn't at home, so I came on my own.
Chris?
Yeah, my friend.
What's his other name?
Oh, I thought if you'd know it, but it's Adamson.
Oh, but I know Chris Adamson very well. Very well indeed.
What a coincidence.
Yes, isn't it?
Funny, he's never mentioned knowing you.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Oh?
What's even funnier is that he's never mentioned you to me.
Yeah, well, will he be in tonight, do you know?
Not tonight. At least I shouldn't think so. But how would I know, anyway?
When I couldn't get him at home, I half expected to find him already here.
Well, he hasn't been in, for 3 or 4 days.
Look, I've got to be pushing along. If Chris comes in later, tell him I was here, will you? There was something I wanted to see him about, something rather important.
I'll tell him. Don't you worry about that. I'll be sure to tell him you were here.
It was shortly after 10 the next morning when the call from Adamson Sr. came through. He sounded breathless and excited.
Mr. Simon, it's come.
A letter?
No, a phone call. Just after I got back from the bank. Almost as if they were watching the house. I think it was from a public phone box. A woman's voice.
You've got the money, haven't you?
Yes, I've just returned from the bank.
Well, listen, and listen carefully. 1 hour from now, that's at 11:15, drive your car onto the main Brighton Road. That's the A5. Just after the road bypasses Reigate, there's a little pub called the Golden Horse. You can see it quite easily from the road. A couple of 100 yards past that, the road passes over a stream. You can't miss it because there's a freshly painted white milestone. As soon as you pass the milestone, throw the bag containing the money out of the window onto the grass verge. Don't slow down. Once the money is out of the car, accelerate and drive on for another 5 miles before turning your car and drive into the house.
Well, supposing somebody sees me.
It's very unlikely there'll be anybody there at that time. But if there is, drive on for exactly 1 mile and drop it at the second milestone.
And when will my son be returned to me?
He'll be released before midday.
Is he all right?
Perfectly all right. Goodbye.
And you say the call has only just come through?
Not 2 minutes ago, Mr. Simon.
Good. You'll follow the instructions, of course.
Yes. You're not going to do anything, are you?
Rest assured, Mr. Adamson, I'm not going to do anything that will endanger your son. Goodbye. Right, Farley, we've got to work fast. We've got less than an hour, plus the time it'll take Adamson to get onto the Brighton Road. You can drive Glenn Martin's car, can't you?
Are you kidding?
They've given 2 places for him to dump the money. That means that they won't be necessarily at the first place. They'll probably follow him in another car once he passes Reigate. If there's anybody at the first place, any casual passerby, that is, it's going to be awkward. As soon as you've gone, I'm going to have a further chat with Client. Just a couple of ends I want to tie up.
I thought I was going to do the tying up in Merton's car.
Oh, yes, you are. But there's still a couple of things about this case I don't quite understand.
Yeah, do I take a gun?
Somehow, I think that a gun is the last thing you'll need. Neither the police nor I approve of guns in any case. Our job is to find a missing person, not to apprehend a criminal.
Okay. Suppose if I have a long wait, I can always make myself a bow and arrow.
Mr. Adamson, there's something I want to add to what I said to you just now.
Yes?
You're not a fast driver, are you?
No.
Good. Today I want you to be particularly slow.
What are you going to do, Mr. Simon?
I'm going to give you some sound advice. You must trust me completely. I had to let you go to the bank this morning because it was quite on the cards that your movements were being watched. However, in your own home, you can't be observed. Be assured that the kidnappers don't know about your phone calls.
Supposing they've been trying to get me?
It's most unlikely. If what I think is correct, in any case, anybody could be phoning you. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to pack the bag that you intended filling with money with newspaper of about the same bulk.
But, Mr. Simon, they'll just take it out on Chris. I don't mind the money, really I don't.
Please trust me. I'm quite certain your son will not suffer in any way. Now, please do as I say. There isn't much time. You'd better start right away.
Very well.
There were 2 calls to be made, both of them in London. I left instructions with Mrs. Hartley and set out on the first. Here, I drew a blank.
I'm afraid she's out, and that's rather surprising. She usually sleeps till midday. Well, I mean, if you work till the early hours, you've got to catch up and you sleep sometime, haven't you? Stands to reason. Matter of fact, I can't ever remember her getting up this early, but 8 o'clock and she was out. Crack of dawn for her.
I tracked Peter Simpson, the missing person's friend, to his office in the city. Your friend Chris Adamson, who's been missing for a few days now, needed some money for an investment.
Yes, his father wouldn't give it to him, so bang goes our chance of $1 million. Oh, if he could only have got his inheritance, then it would have been so much different for both of us.
In what way?
Well, you see, Chris's mother left him £10,000 in trust. Naturally, he thought he'd get it when he turned 21, but can you believe it? The old boy won't part. At least not until Chris is safely tied up in the firm.
And what did you want the £10,000 for?
We had first option on a garage and roadhouse in a very good position on the Brighton Road, but now Chris has disappeared, his father won't part, and the option expires tomorrow.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
3 cars passed the Golden Horse on the main Brighton Road within minutes of each other that same morning. The first, Agent Martin's red sports car, driven by Farley, pulled off the road just past the milestone. Fortunately, bracken was thick enough just to provide enough cover. Hardly had Farley got himself into position than another car passed.
And here we are, right in the nose. Now we shall see what we shall see. I must say it's a bit of a temptation, all that loot lying there. Here comes the car. Well. Good morning, Miss O'Brien. Fancy meeting you here. Oh, yeah. Isn't that our missing boy, Chris Adamson, at the wheel? Guess what? My car's broken down. I wonder if you two would be kind enough to give me a lift back to town.
The curious thing was that although Chris Adamson had in fact blackmailed his own father, the money was his legitimately anyway. It was an odd situation. Odder still was the fact that it did nothing to destroy the bond between father and son. George Adamson, having received proof positive of his son's determination to carve a way for himself rather than move into a ready-made position, made no further attempts to withhold the necessary money. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.
This is Henry Simon, bringing you another story from my files here at the Missing Persons Bureau.
In these stories of the Missing Persons Bureau, dramatized for Henry Simon by Ross Napier, names and addresses have, for obvious reasons, been changed. In one moment, the search for James Rothwell Sutherland. Address unknown. And here again is Henry Simon.
The staccato clatter of machine gun fire broke the stillness of the dawn. Everywhere, khaki-clad men dived for cover, flattening themselves upon the desert sand as a deadly hail of lead combed the area. A second machine gun opened fire, but they were sitting ducks. 30 British soldiers behind the enemy lines. Caught unawares, they had very little or no chance indeed to fight back. Of their 3 trucks, the first in line exploded with a roar. Then the second, and 17 men lay dead where they had fallen. Then it happened. From under cover of the remaining truck, a man emerged, the top half of his body bare, his left leg spurting blood from 2 separate wounds. Stumbling, staggering, he ran blindly in the direction of the first machine gun, miraculously surviving its lethal blast. 30 yards away, he pulled the firing pin out of a grenade, flinging it hard and high. The first machine gun spoke no more, and with not a moment's hesitation, the bleeding figure charged the second. It was over almost before it had begun. All was still again, as the lone one turned his back upon the silent guns and abruptly fell face downwards in the sand.
Yes?
You sent for me, Major?
Yes. Come in, Lieutenant. Sit down, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Well, how is he?
He'll pull through.
Fine. And the leg?
It's been removed. There was no hope of saving it. Completely shot to pieces. How he kept on as long as he did, I'll never know.
A very brave young man.
I've never seen a braver one, sir. Without any doubt, he saved the lives of 12 men, mine included.
At the same time, putting 2 machine guns out of action?
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I'd never have believed it possible. He ran straight at them, sir, directly into their fire. It's a miracle he's alive to tell the story. A miracle and nothing less.
He'll be cited, of course.
To my way of thinking, there's no medal big enough.
There is one, perhaps. I'm recommending him for the Victoria Cross.
Thus did Corporal James Rothwell Sutherland attain the undisputed but coveted status of hero. Invalided home minus a leg, he was duly summoned to Buckingham Palace, where the Victoria Cross was pinned to his chest by the King. His feat was graphically described in the newspapers, and for a brief period in those dark days of war, he became a celebrity. Indeed, it is said that he was accorded more tributes and feted more lavishly than any V.C. winner before or since. It was, therefore, not very surprising that I remember his name so well when it was brought to my attention some 6 years later, in the August of 1948, by a caption in the Daily Chronicle. V.C. winner disappears.
Morning, Chief.
Oh, good morning, Study. You're in bright and early.
Yeah, I figured it was time I tried catching the worm. What's new?
I was just reading about this fellow Sutherland.
Who?
James Rothwell Sutherland, V.C., one of our war heroes.
Oh, yeah? Well, what about him?
Seems he's disappeared. There's an article about him here.
Hey, wasn't he the one who lost a leg?
In North Africa, yes. He stormed a couple of machine gun posts. Single-handed.
Yeah. I seem to remember hearing people speak about him.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd he disappear from?
His home, apparently. He was living with his parents up in Coventry.
Not married?
Well, there's no mention here of a wife.
How long's he been gone?
My dear Study, you remind me of myself interviewing a client. Here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 7 months, huh? Father's appealing for anyone who's seen or heard of him to come forward. Looks like a job for us. Maybe we ought to offer our services.
We've got more than enough jobs in our hands as it is, without canvassing for more. Which reminds me, you promised to let me have that Matheson report this morning.
Oh, yes, so I did. I've got it drafted. I'll get Pauline to type it out.
After putting the newspaper aside, I duly forgot all about James Rothwell Sutherland and his reported disappearance, until a week later, when I was given very good cause to recall it. Yes?
Mr. Simon?
Yes?
Please forgive the intrusion. There was no one in the outer office, and I saw your name on the door.
My secretary's at lunch.
Oh, well, I wonder if you'd be so kind as to spare me a few minutes.
Certainly. Sit down, won't you?
I'll just close the door.
Oh, thank you.
Sutherland's my name, Frank Sutherland. I'm here about my son, Mr. Simon. You may have heard of him. James Rothwell Sutherland. He was a VC winner in the last war.
Tall and grey-haired, with straight, broad shoulders, Frank Sutherland then went on to verify the newspaper account of his son's disappearance, a grave frown clouding his well-shaped features.
Apart from his 2 years in the army, he lived at home all his life with his mother and myself. He was an only child.
He's not married, is he?
No.
Did he have a job of any kind?
Well, his ambition was to be a composer.
Of music?
Yes, he wrote a little poetry. No doubt you think it strange that a war hero should be interested in the gentler arts?
Not at all. Though I must admit I've never actually pictured him as a poet.
Well, it comes as a surprise to most people when they hear, those who don't know him, that is. However, he's never shown himself to be unduly gifted either as a composer or as a poet. He did write a few verses for some magazine or other. They sold 2 of his compositions to an American advertising firm, but other than that, he's had very little luck.
Has he no other occupation?
No. Being a moderately wealthy man, he doesn't really need one. His grandmother left him quite a large sum when she died, most of which he's since invested quite wisely, as it happens.
I see.
The fact is, Mr. Simon, we're very concerned about him, his mother and I. It's almost 8 months now since he left home, and we've not heard a word from him.
What were the circumstances of his departure exactly?
Well, he said he was coming down to London. That was on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
He was to return on the Monday.
But he didn't, eh?
No.
What did he come to London for?
Well, he didn't say. We assume he had ideas of trying to sell some of his work.
Just how close was he to you and his mother?
Oh, well, we thought the world of him, naturally, but it's difficult to put into words. One never quite knows what he was thinking or feeling. He didn't believe in discussing his problems with us or with anyone else, for that matter.
Tell me, did his war experiences affect him at all? Apart, of course, from the loss of his leg.
Well, they didn't appear to, no, but the publicity he received certainly did.
Oh? In what way?
Well, for some reason, he didn't seem to want to be a hero. He gave the impression that he found the role an embarrassing one.
Embarrassing?
As for all the fuss that was made of him, well, he endured it, but that's about all. At one stage, there was talk of erecting a statue in his honor. He wouldn't hear of it. I've never seen him so emphatic about anything. He's an odd boy. I can't tell you what a shock I got when I heard of his bravery. He was the last person I expected to distinguish himself in battle. What I mean is, by nature, he's always been so meek and mild. The thought of him charging 2 German machine gun nests, wiping them out, well, for long enough I simply wouldn't believe it. But there can be no doubting the fact that he did just that. There were 12 witnesses, including Lieutenant Charlton, one of his officers.
It's often at times of great stress, you know, that people reveal their true selves.
True.
Did he have many friends?
Not really, no. He's always kept pretty much to himself.
Romantic interest?
Oh, the only girl he ever displayed any interest in at all was Judith.
Judith?
Judith Barry. She lived next door to us. Still does, for that matter. They were seeing quite a deal of each other at one time.
Was there ever any talk of marriage between them?
Well, it was more or less assumed that they would marry eventually.
Assumed? By whom?
By both families.
Were they keeping company up until the time of his disappearance?
Off and on, yes. They go to the cinema once or twice a week and occasionally to a dance.
And he gave her no indication at all that he was going away?
No more indication than he gave anyone else. She was quite put out about it, for which I couldn't blame her. I think she rather took it for granted that they'd be married too, although I'm almost certain he never broached the subject with her.
Were they friendly before the war?
They've known each other since they were at school. While he was away, they corresponded quite regularly.
How old is Miss Barry?
25, 26.
And your son?
29.
Did he know anyone in London? Was there anyone in particular he might have contacted?
No one I can think of. Unless...
Yes?
Well, about 3 months before he left, Ron Charlton came to see him.
Ron Charlton?
The officer I spoke of, the one who was with him when he lost his leg.
Oh, yes. What was the purpose of his visit?
Well, he was passing through and stopped by to say hello. I remember him telling James if ever there was anything he could do to help him anyway, not to hesitate to let him know.
I see. You wouldn't know where he could be contacted?
I'm afraid not. Curiously, till now I never really gave him much thought.
I dare say I can find out from military headquarters. A lieutenant, did you say he was?
Yes, I believe he was later promoted to captain.
Captain Ron Charlton. Fine. Well, no sense in delaying it. I'll phone them right away. At military headquarters, I spoke to Major Ralph Thomas, who had rendered us invaluable assistance in the past and who on this occasion was swift to come up with the information we required. Namely, that the former Captain Charlton was residing at an address in Braithwaite Road, Claxton. Accordingly, I instructed Studdy, who later that same afternoon was redirected by Charlton's wife to an office in the city, where he was employed as an accountant.
That's right, Mr. Studdy. We were cut off behind the Jerry lines, 30 of us. I was in command, and as it was, we lost 17 men. But if it hadn't been for Sutherland, we'd have all been wiped out.
Uh-huh. Apart from that one incident, what kind of a soldier was he, generally speaking?
That's the astonishing part of it.
Yeah?
Up to that time, I'd always regarded him as the world's worst.
Henry Simon returns to continue this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
Despite the fact that our investigation was barely underway, we'd unearthed some surprising information regarding James Rothwell Sutherland, V.C. In his father's words, he was anything but the heroic type, and as described by his former superior, a very poor soldier.
I don't quite get it, sir. Could you maybe elaborate a little?
There are 3 types of soldier, Mr. Studdy. The born soldier, who makes a business of fighting and loves it. The motivated soldier, who fights for something he believes in and makes the best of it. And the unmotivated soldier, who dons a uniform and takes up a gun because circumstances force him to. Sutherland belonged to that group. He was a soldier without incentive, a soldier who was never sure what he was fighting for and who really didn't care.
But he must have cared some to do what he did.
At that crucial moment, something obviously happened to make him care. What that something was, I wouldn't know, and I very much doubt if he does himself. I only know that it saved 12 lives, mine among them.
I understand you paid him a visit at his parents' home some time ago.
I was passing through Coventry on my way to Birmingham. I dropped in to pay my respects.
According to his father, you told him if there was ever anything you could do for him, you'd be only too happy to oblige?
That's right.
You didn't take advantage of the offer?
He hasn't to date, no. As I said, I haven't heard from him.
After taking his leave of Charlton, Studdy went direct to Euston Station, where he boarded a train for Coventry. On his arrival, at a few minutes past 6 that evening, he proceeded to number 57 Argyle Street, the home of Judith Barry, which adjoined that of our client. A neat brick bungalow painted white, with a cement path leading from the gate to the front door. In answer to his ring, the door was opened by a plumpish, middle-aged woman, who ushered him into a tastefully furnished living room, where he was joined a few moments later by the young lady in question, a slim, attractive brunette.
Mother tells me you're here about Jim.
Yes, that's right. There are just a few points I'd like to check with you.
Well, I'm afraid there's very little I can tell you about him. He didn't bother taking me into his confidence. Not that there was any reason why he should have, but, well, we were quite friendly for some time.
Before leaving, he gave you no indication at all that he wasn't planning to return?
None.
He didn't say why he was going to London?
No.
Did you see him before he went?
I went to the train with him.
Uh-huh. Well, how'd he seem then?
Much the same as always. Quiet, thoughtful. He never had much to say for himself.
Did you have any form of understanding with him?
Understanding?
Regarding the future?
If you mean, were we planning to be married? No, we weren't.
In other words, you enjoyed a purely platonic relationship?
It might have been described as that, yes.
Why?
I beg your pardon.
Well, believe me, Miss Barry, I'm not being personal just for the sake of it. I'm trying to get a picture of what the guy was like, what made him tick, you know?
I don't care for your chances. I tried hard enough myself, but it didn't get me very far. I knew him for years, and yet in so many ways he was a complete stranger to me. Quite impossible to understand.
He wrote to you regularly while he was in the army?
Every few weeks.
Well, to have done that, surely he must have thought of you a good deal.
Oh, he thought of me all right. But that's as far as it went.
You're quite sure he did go to London?
I told you I saw him on the train.
But that's not to say he didn't get off somewhere en route.
Well, no, but why should he?
Why should he disappear, yeah. Well, he could have had some plan in mind. Just said he was going to London to throw everybody off the track.
Oh, but that's ridiculous.
No more so than his not coming back.
Well, there's one sure way of finding out.
Yeah?
Mrs. McGraw was in the same carriage. I saw her getting in.
Mrs. McGraw?
The local chemist's wife.
Ah, was she a friend of his?
Not that I know of. For that matter, I'm barely acquainted with her myself. But she must have known him by sight. If he'd left the train before he'd got to London, she'd have seen him. That is, assuming she went as far as London.
You didn't check with her?
Well, it didn't occur to me. Till now, I never really thought about her.
Where can I reach her?
She and her husband live above the shop. It's just a couple of blocks along the street, next to the grocer's. The name's on the window, McGraw's Pharmacy. You can't miss it.
Sorry to bother you so late, Mrs. McGraw, but it's a matter of some urgency.
Oh, yes?
You're acquainted with the Sutherlands, are you?
Well, only to nod to.
Well, I guess you've heard about the son disappearing.
I did hear it left home, yes, but I couldn't tell you the details. I tried to keep myself apart from the neighborhood gossip as much as possible.
Well, in this case, it's a bit more than gossip. But letting that pass for the moment, I understand you took a trip early this year.
Trip?
Yes, to London. That is, you caught the London train.
Oh, yes, I went down to spend a few days with my sister.
In London?
Yes, South Wimbledon.
Well, Jim Sutherland was on the same train, so I believe. Same carriage, in fact?
That's right. He was sitting in front of me.
You didn't speak to him at all?
No.
Did he go all the way, do you recall, or did he get out before you?
I've an idea he did. Yes, at Bantry.
Bantry?
The platform's so low there. I remember the porter had to help him down.
You're quite sure it was Bantry?
Certain. It was the last stop before Sudbury.
Uh-huh. You didn't mention this to anybody?
I didn't see any cause to. There was nothing unusual in it.
Maybe not. Except that he hasn't been seen or heard of since.
After taking his leave of Mrs. McGraw, Studdy returned to 57 Argyle Road, where he again questioned Judith Barry, who expressed considerable surprise when he told her what he'd learned.
Bantry? But why on earth should he get off there?
Well, I was hoping maybe you could tell me.
Have you checked with his parents?
Not yet. I thought I'd try you first.
Well, I'm sorry. Apart from the fact that he spent a few months at a training camp there,
Training camp?
When he was first in the army. It was where they taught him to be a soldier.
Studdy was further enlightened by our client, Frank Sutherland, who informed him that whilst training at Bantry, his son had befriended a certain Kathleen Abbott, in whose company he had spent many of his leisure hours. Mrs. Abbott, it transpired, had been a voluntary worker at the barracks canteen, and, together with her husband, had kept open house for quite a number of the Bantry trainees, Jim Sutherland included. He had mentioned her several times in his letters home, but to his parents' knowledge, after leaving Bantry, had had no further contact with her. Accordingly, Studdy set out to locate Kathleen Abbott, whom he had very little trouble in tracing to her home in Jersey Street, Bantry, not very far from the site of the old barracks, which had since been pulled down and replaced by a motor factory. An elderly white-haired woman, she greeted the agent cordially, pressing him to join her in a cup of tea.
I do hope it's strong enough for you, Mr. Studdy.
Oh, it's just fine, thanks, ma'am. But, reverting to the matter in question, has Sutherland been in touch with you at all during the past 8 months?
You say his parents are anxious about him?
Very.
You should have written to them. He promised me he would.
Then he has been here.
Jimmy and I are old friends, Mr. Studdy. When he was stationed at Bantry during the early part of the war, we had many long chats. He was unhappy in the army, and I did what I could to cheer him up, to help him adjust himself, you might say. Then he was moved to another camp. For a while he wrote to me, but as time went on, we gradually lost touch. I didn't see or hear from him again till one morning last January. There was a ring at the door. I opened it, and there he was.
Go on.
The rest of the story's for him to tell.
Oh, fair enough, but where is he?
Right behind you, Mr. Studdy.
What?
Allow me to introduce myself. James Rothwell Sutherland, B.C.
Studdy blinked in bewilderment at the intruder. There could be no mistaking him from his photographs. The face with the deep-set eyes, the V-shaped scar on his left cheek. As he settled himself in the chair facing the agent, Mrs. Abbott rose, and excusing herself on the pretext that she had some work to do in the kitchen, left the room.
A wonderful woman, Mr. Studdy. I doubt if there'd be another person in the world who understands me a tenth as well as she does. Certainly not my parents or Judith Barry. They don't understand me at all. They never did.
Is that why you cleared out?
I cleared out because I was in a rut. My life had become a meaningless existence. Not that it was the fault of theirs. I did everything in their power to snap me out of it, to pull me together. Unfortunately, all they succeeded in doing was to make me totally dependent on them. Well, almost. It's difficult to put into words. I just felt I had to get away from them for a while, find someone who could steer me back on a course.
So you settled for Mrs. Abbott, huh?
I had no intention of coming here to stay originally. I merely wanted to ask her advice, talk things over with her. And then, when the time came for me to leave, she suggested I stay on for a few days. That was over 7 months ago, and I'm still here.
It didn't occur to you to contact your parents or Miss Barry to let them know where you were?
I settled down to write to them a dozen times, but somehow I could never find the right words to say. The truth of it is, I'm a misfit. I don't belong to their world or any other. In everything I've tried to do, I've been a failure. As a poet, a composer, even as a soldier.
That's not the way I heard it. I wouldn't know how you write as a poet or composer, but as a soldier, you're practically a living legend.
I'll let you in on a little secret, Mr. Studdy. You might find it amusing.
I'm all ears.
I joined the army because there was a war on, and I had no alternative. I hated it. I hated everything about it. I had no heart for fighting, no will. And then, one day, I woke up in hospital and discovered I was a hero. Or rather, that I was being treated as one. In truth, I was anything but.
The records say you were. And so do the 12 men whose lives you saved.
No, they're quite wrong. I was hit on the leg. I crawled under a truck for cover, and that's all I remember. The next thing, I was in hospital, minus a leg.
You've got no recollection of what you did?
Not the slightest.
Well, you sure did it, that's for sure.
So I've heard. My one success. Funny thing.
What's funny?
Just that. I've never been able to make the grade at what I've wanted to do. All I've been able to do is be a hero.
Henry Simon returns to conclude this story in just a moment. And here again is Henry Simon.
I very much doubt if Kathleen Abbott or anyone else really understood James Rothwell Sutherland. He was a born enigma, unfathomable even to himself. He had a good home, devoted parents, and the love of a fine young woman. All a man could wish for, in fact. Yet he strove for the unattainable, for something, he knew not what, that lay beyond his grasp. In his own eyes he was a failure, but to the world he was a hero, a man among men, and a hero he'll remain, for just as long as the story of his valor is told. And now, as always, this is Henry Simon inviting you to meet me here again, and for the present, bidding you au revoir.